John Maguire, BBC News, London.
A group of 5 women have accused a judge of bullying and sexist behaviour towards them. One woman told BBC News she was shouted at on least 16 occasions. The women all brought separate employment tribunal cases before Judge Philip Lancaster. A spokesperson for the judiciary said they couldn't comment on matters of conduct. From Leeds, Michael Buchanan reports.
3 women, 3 separate court cases, 1 judge. Would you like to apologise to any of them in any way? Dr. Hina Tawhid brought a maternity discrimination case against her former business partner in 2022.
When the barrister on the other side started to cross-examine me, the judge completely took over the cross-examination, started aggressively cross-examining me, and if I didn't agree with anything that he said, he would shout at me.
The GP's barrister counted at least 16 occasions in which that had happened.
I was told by my barrister that what was going on in court was deeply disturbing, and they were very, very concerned that the judge was behaving in an extremely intimidating and aggressive manner with me, and hostile is the word that they used.
And this is that judge. Philip Lancaster has presided over employment tribunals since 2007, and Hina Tawhid is far from the only woman to complain about his conduct. In 2021, Andra appeared before the judge, representing her partner in a race discrimination case he'd brought against his company.
I've been shouted at constantly. I've been interrupted. I felt abused.
As his legal representative, Andra was allowed to question witnesses from her partner's former company, but as an appeal court would later find, she was repeatedly prevented from doing so.
He literally interrupted me whenever I was asking any questions, saying it's either irrelevant or I shouldn't ask this today, I should ask this another witness, not this witness. And then when we got to the other witness, he would say, well, why didn't you ask the other witness yesterday?
All the cases were heard in a courtroom in this building in central Leeds, but proving misconduct is extremely difficult as there were no objective documents made. Despite each case being an official court hearing, employment tribunals at that time were not recorded. That meant that Judge Lancaster's notes of what had happened became the official court record. Alison McDermott brought a case against her employer in 2021 after being sacked. She says Judge Lancaster shouted at her too and made snide remarks about her earnings.
I think it mattered hugely that I was a woman. I think for some reason he had a real problem with the fact I was a well-paid professional woman.
When her judgment received some publicity, the HR consultant was contacted by the other women and learned of their complaints about the judge.
As usual, it's left to the victims to find one another, come together and say, we're not accepting this.
Excuse me, Mr. Lancaster. Yes. BBC News. We approached Judge Lancaster with the group's concerns. Several women have accused you of bias, bullying and misogyny. What would you say to them? Would you like to apologise to any of them in any way? In a statement, the courts and tribunal judiciary said we cannot provide comment in response to any conduct allegations.
This is someone who has been allowed to behave like this unchecked.
The women who all lost their cases now provide support to each other, but say their previously fundamental belief in the fairness of British justice has been shattered. Michael Buchanan, BBC News, Leeds.
A lawyer who lost her job during the pandemic